Would you believe that something as small as this SIM card can be turned into an antenna? Let me show you how I made it happen. Here, I prepared a rectangular wooden board with the right size to serve as the antenna base. I'll mount the SIM card onto the surface and treat it like a circuit board, using it to connect the key components together. Next, I add 6 solder connection points directly onto the metal surface of the SIM card. These points act as the main connection hubs, allowing the essential components of the antenna structure to be linked together. By using soldering, the connections remain secure and electrically reliable, while the overall layout stays clean, organized, and easy to follow. After finishing the soldering work, I marked 6 corresponding positions on the surface of the wooden board. Each mark matches one of the connection points previously created on the SIM card. Labeling these positions early on makes the wiring process much clearer, helps prevent confusion during later connections, and keeps the overall antenna layout neat and well organized. I have 5 screws ready, and I'll secure them into the marked positions on the wooden base. The wiring steps coming up are a bit tricky to explain because they look fairly complex. So I'll take things slowly and go through them in a more structured way. If anything isn't clear while you're watching, feel free to leave a comment below the video. Are you familiar with this? This is a spacer washer, a small component, but one that plays an important role in a DIY antenna setup. Its main job is to maintain consistent spacing between contact points, helping to reduce interference, absorb minor vibrations, and keep electrical connections stable over time. In a handmade antenna system, where everything is assembled manually, spacer washers add reliability, prevent loose contacts, and improve the overall durability of the structure. As for the signal receiving part of this device, I'm using a copper wire bent into a spring-like shape. This design increases the surface area interacting with electromagnetic waves, which helps improve signal reception compared to a straight wire. In DIY antenna projects, this coil-style wire is commonly used to enhance reception while keeping the structure compact, flexible, and easy to install. To connect the antenna unit to the signal path, I repurpose an old charger that was set aside but still works perfectly fine. Instead of letting it go to waste, I turn its cable into the signal link for the antenna. This way, the old charger isn't just reused. It becomes an essential part of the DIY antenna system, helping save components while keeping the overall setup practical and flexible. I have to admit, the structure looks a bit messy, but it's interesting in its own way. Now, let's move on to building the signal path. You're probably already very familiar with this power socket. It's a common component that almost every household has. In this video, however, its role goes beyond basic power delivery. It's used to connect the antenna's power source to the coaxial cable, acting as a key linking point in the overall setup. This is a coaxial cable segment that I've already cut and prepared for the next connection step. This type of cable is commonly used in signal transmission systems, thanks to its good shielding and reliable performance. In this DIY antenna setup, the coaxial cable will carry the signal from the receiving element to the rest of the system, so having it pre-cut to the right length helps keep the assembly process cleaner, easier, and more organized. For the other end of the coaxial cable, I'll attach an F connector, followed by a straight F coupler. This setup creates a standard connection point that works with most household devices. The main goal here is to make connecting the antenna to a TV quick and convenient, without the need for extra adapters or complicated wiring. Use electrical insulation tape to cover any exposed electrical areas, ensuring safety and preventing short circuits during operation. There's still one small piece needed to complete the setup, a separate adapter made from a charger and a SIM card. It may look simple, but when used with the antenna, it becomes very useful, making the connection more flexible and practical. All right, that's everything done. Now I'm going to take it out and test it right away. Just a few seconds after connecting, the results already look very good. No complaints so far. Still, to be absolutely sure, let's give a bit more time and see how stable performance is. I've been waiting for a while now, and so far there haven't been any negative signs at all. So I decided to unplug the power and plug it back in, just to see how the device reacts after restart. So, starting from a handful of familiar parts, some of which might have been considered scrap, we built and tested an antenna that actually performed surprisingly well. Looking back at the whole process, the structure may not be compact or visually polished like a commercial product, but every single part has its purpose and contributes to the final result. What I really wanted to share in this video isn't just the outcome, but the approach behind it. Understanding the basics, making use of what you already have, and taking the time to test things properly. Sometimes, projects like this teach us far more than simply buying a ready-made device ever could. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video all the way to the end. If you have any questions, ideas, or personal experiences you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll see you again in the next video.